the supervisory authority, which is SASRA. Unfortunately, SASRA has been underfunded. And because of underfunding, it has no capacity sometimes to carry out regular supervision. And we want this particular sector to be self-regulating. So self-regulating, self-sustainable. So if it's that, we are saying that levy collected from SACCOs for supervision purposes should be kept by SASRA. And this is one of the amendments that we are proposing within the SACCO Act, because this money is collected by SASRA and it has to be forwarded to the Treasury, and then the Treasury takes time to return back the same money. And it's a levy, it's not a tax. This issue has already been addressed by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Treasury, and I think is addressing that particular issue. So, with what I have said, Honourable Member, we want to strengthen SASRA, which is the regulatory authority. Commercial bank, central bank supervises commercial banks. SASRA supervises the SACCOs. But SASRA has no strength or has no capacity as central bank because of funding. And I've told you where the funding is supposed to come to improve that supervisory authority. The issue of Cusco, I don't want to comment on it very much because the officers who are involved in irregularities at Cusco are already before court. And the court now is dealing with that process. We have the investigation, we have already the reports. People whom they think are capable have already been arraigned before court, and the matter is now a court process. Let us wait for the outcome. But as I close up, Mr. Speaker, I think I would request that this House, when you look at, when you address the issues of the Cooperative Act 2024, please address this issue of governance within the cooperative movement, so that, and then the question of supervision, so that, and the question of deduction of members' dues. These are the three areas that have actually weakened the SACCO movement. If we seal the loopholes, I'm very certain that we shall have a very strong SACCOs in this country. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Wabua Enoch. We are taking another round of 3 questions.
I thank you, the Speaker. Speaker, every time you mention Moi University, I have more than a passing interest. I'm a former student there, and Senator Kamar is my teacher. When the senator says that she is satisfied with the response from the CS, I get a bit worried, because that response, the Speaker, from where I sit, and this is my question, is based on misleading information. On the admission of the CS, he did not know that an appeal had been lodged on the matter of Moscow. And on the basis of that information, he has crafted a recovery path for the SACCO. Now that he knows otherwise, is that recovery path still relevant? Because the Speaker, I've heard him say that some of the things that he wants to do will be perhaps the proposal to put in some money. There is also a proposal to liquidate assets belonging to the SACCO. But if there is an existing appeal, would that recovery path still remain as is. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, now that I have the floor and he has committed that one day he's going to come here and speak to us about the ASLA funds, Mr. Speaker, it may turn out actually that what he knew before he became the CS is the truth, and perhaps what he knows now about the ASLA fund could also be misleading. The Speaker will wait to hear from him.
Senator Enoch Kwambua, you cannot preempt the report that will be brought to this House by the CS. You wait for the report and then you can criticize the report. Senator Mongatana Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'm so happy to hear that there are plans to revive MUSCO. Mr. Speaker, two of my brothers who are very prominent members, both one outside and one in Kenya, they went to study there. They began their academic journeys there in Moi University. And there's more than passing interest in MUSCO. So I'm glad to hear that at least there are plans for revival, because the losses are massive. Just two quick clarifications from the minister. I wanted to know how much money exactly is involved, because he has been talking, but he has not mentioned or referred to any figures that the liquidator is handling. I also wanted to know, this liquidation of MUSCO did not happen overnight. There must have been a process of bad performance that was reported to the ministry. So can the minister tell us in terms of future or protecting other cooperatives from going down that path, what steps is he taking to make sure that that doesn't happen to other cooperatives? Is there a process or a method of checking what is happening and actions being taken so that we don't have the cooperative movement going down the drain? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Modigi Alexander Munyi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Swali langu kwa waziri wa cooperative, kwa vyama, mambo ya vyama vya ushirika unajaribu kurainisha, sio kama zamani, lakini mambo zingine kama mambo ya agriculture, mambo ya livestock iko na shinda katika Mount Kenya, haswa Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru. After hii serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kuanza kazi ilisema maziwa itatoka shilingi 50. Lakini saa hii katika hizo county na zingine maziwa inatoka shilingi 45. Na shinda ile iliyoko, chakula ya ng'ombe, dawa, kila kitu yote mkulima anaumia kwa sababu ya hizo vitu iko juu. Utaweza kusaidia namna gani kwa sababu directive iko na unajua iko hiyo maziwa iwe hairudi chini kuliko shilingi 50. Na sio hiyo Mount Kenya peke yake. Sisi tukiwa kamati ya agriculture tulitembea Bungoma, mambo ya ajabu katika Kenya, lita moja inatoka shilingi 34. Kwa hivyo ni kama Kenya. Bwana Waziri, unaweza kusaidia mkulima namna gani? Najua siku hizi pali mingi hakuna kazi, watu wengi wamerudi mashambani kulima. Na mambo ya kulima, hakuna mashamba ya kulima, watu wamerudi kwa kulima mambo ya maziwa na mambo ya agriculture. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Lastly but not the least, Senator Chute Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Well, let me thank the CS for being with us here today and the many years service he has given to this country. But I wanted to know from the minister, how will SASRA continue to oversight other SACCOs, considering its role in the multi-million losses of Cusco? And the minister, the CS, should tell us, is there any insurance or guarantees from the government if the money is lost? Thank you very much.
Honorable CS, you can answer those questions. I think that's the last set of questions from the members this morning.
Yeah, the question from Mheshimiwa Mugatana, who is my best friend. I have already tabled a report here. I did a very detailed report. And this detailed report will show you the weaknesses in each of the areas.
Senator Mugatana, when I was in school, I was told by my teacher, when you ask a question, you listen, you become attentive to listen. So Senator Gataya, stop misreading the... Okay.
Honorable Mugatana, when you are not listening, I said that you are my good friend. Yeah, you are my good friend. So I wanted to answer you. First of all, there was this issue of appeal. I have admitted that I have not looked at the appeal. And even if the cabinet secretary never acted on the appeal, there is a provision that if the cabinet secretary do not act on the appeal, you have an alternative of going to the High Court to pursue the matter with the High Court. So this is another open avenue that whoever was appealing to the cabinet secretary, he would have proceeded to the High Court if there was no response from the cabinet secretary. I've never got any correspondence from the High Court that the issue is being addressed there. But I have admitted that maybe it was an oversight if the appeal was received by the cabinet secretary and it was not addressed. Secondly, the issue of Honorable Mugatana, I have clearly pointed out that I have tabled here a report that was presented to me by the task force. And within that report, it addresses quite a number of areas, and I will plead with you that if you read the report, you can now assess yourself how much money that you feel, how much money was misappropriated. But as I've said, the confirming of the money misappropriated, that is the responsibility of another agency. And I've said clearly that this is an issue that we are going to refer to the DCI to take the appropriate action. The issue of protecting others, how would we? I've clearly said here that we have the cooperative bill before you, and within that, the government has made quite a number of provisions that will make sure that the supervisory of SACCOs is strengthened. And one of the recommendations is to strengthen SASRA. SASRA is underfunded. An institution, if it is underfunded, is not able to carry out its responsibilities. So it will be up to this House to help the ministry to make sure that SASRA is appropriately funded so that it is able to carry out its responsibility. Nina mheshimiwa ambaye ameongea mambo ya kilimo kutoka kule Embu na mambo ya mifuko, na wazi amesema ya kwamba bei ya maziwa saa hii ni shilingi 50. Hii ni bei ambayo serikali imeweka, na kabla serikali iweke hii bei ya shilingi 50, wakulima wa mifuko walikuwa wanalipwa chini ya shilingi 40. Wengi wa wakulima walikuwa wanalipwa kati ya shilingi 35 mpaka 38. Ndio serikali ikaamua tayari kupitia kwa shirika la KCC la kiserikali, bei ya chini kabisa ni bei shilingi 50, lakini sangine wanalipa zaidi ya hii 50. Ni kwa sababu waliweka bei ya 50, yale mashirika ya binafsi kuendelea kuwa kwa biashara pia walisongesha bei yao kutoka shilingi 38 kwenda kwa shilingi 50. Kwa hivyo serikali tayari imesaidia wakulima wale ambao walikuwa wanalipa bei ya 38, sasa wameenda kwa bei ya 50. Hapo serikali imefanya kazi kusongeza hiyo, lakini nataka nimjulishe mheshimiwa ya kwamba hii bei ya 50, hii bei inaenda kwa ushirika, the cooperative. Na cooperative pia hapo hiyo ina kazi yake ambayo inafanya kuleta hii maziwa pamoja na kusafirisha hii maziwa katika kwa factory. Na hiyo ina gharama. Kwa hivyo unapata mkulima amepata shilingi 45, kwa sababu zile zingine 5 zinaenda kwa hizo services ambayo cooperative inafanya. Ndio kwa sababu unapata ni bei 50, lakini mkulima mwenyewe anapata shilingi 45. Bei ya chakula nina haki, wakulima wamekuja mbele yangu kusema bei ya chakula iko juu kabisa. Serikali ifanya maanani kuona ya kwamba bei iko chini. Juzi tumekuwa, rais amekuwa kule Meru na Mount Kenya dairy, akapeana machine ya kutengeneza chakula, akapeana msaada kutoka kwa serikali ya shilingi milioni 200 ili Meru dairy waweze kutengeneza chakula cha ng'ombe ambayo sasa bei itakuwa chini, na serikali iko tayari kusaidia mashirika mengine kuona ya kwamba hii bei ya chakula iko chini. Na pia unajua ile miradi serikali inasaidia wakulima kwa kupeana mbolea ambao bei ni nafuu kwa shilingi 2,500. On the issue of SASRA, I have said here severally that we need to strengthen SASRA. That one I don't want to repeat it. But on the guarantee of losses of funds, we have introduced, and this issue is coming before you, honorable members, we are now introducing deposit guarantee fund within the amendment in the SACCO to protect SACCO members who are likely to lose their deposits when SACCOs go under receivership. Thank you.
Waziri, sawa nitakupea, lakini kwa I wanted to also, you know, once when you are chairing, sometimes you give an opinion. Several CS you have referred to this matter that SASRA has no capacity. Because you are the CS in charge of SASRA, what is making SASRA to be weak and that you cannot be able to sort out, especially is it financing? What is it that SASRA is not working? Because you know cooperative is the way to go nowadays. Every crop that we have should go the cooperative way. But if SASRA is weak and it is the regulator, so maybe you can give us commitment on the intentions. What do you intend to do to SASRA so that this body can have power and teeth, Honorable CS? I thought CS before you answer me, huyu mjumbe wa Embu anakaa hajaridhika na jibu lako. Na ni mkulima wa maziwa.
Bwana Waziri, umejibu vizuri kusema kuna kiwanda itajengwa Meru ya kutengeneza chakula ndio bei irudi chini, na tunakumbuka hata rais wakati alikuwa Meru alisema mambo ya semen itakuwa inatoka kama shilingi 1 ndio mkulima avaindike. Shinda ni wakati kulitangazwa na rais akasema lita 1 itakuwa inatoka shilingi 50. Lakini Bwana Waziri, wakati umekuja hapa katika Kenya, watu wakiangalia kusema inafaa itoke shilingi 45 na hii shilingi 5 kuna mahali itaenda, na mkulima unajua kwa na shinda kule mashinani tukua viongozi. Hakuna mahali aliambiwa shilingi 5 kuna mahali inaenda. Inaonekana hiyo ni kama kupotosa watu wa Kenya. Na tunakuheshimu kama unafanya kazi nzuri sana. Na tunajua utarainisha. Tafadhali ungesaidia mkulima wa maziwa awache kutaapika. Kama chakula itarudi chini, wakati hiyo bei itarudi chini. Ndio mkulima anunue angalau shilingi 50 rais wa Kenya alisema. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Mheshimiwa, nimesema rais alitangaza ya kwamba mkulima atapata shilingi 50,000. Na jambo hilo lilifanyika karibu mwaka moja na nusu ambayo uliopita. Na sasa mimi nataka nikuhakikishie hili jambo nitaangalia kwamba mkulima apate hiyo 50. Tuwe na njia ambayo mkulima atapata hiyo 50, kwa sababu rais mwenyewe alisema ya kwamba ati mkulima apate 50. Hakusema cooperative ipate 50 alafu ikate. Hilo ndio jambo tunataka tuangalie. Na hiyo nakubali na wewe. Mambo ya SASRA, Mr. Speaker. SASRA is a supervisory authority. We want this sector to be self-regulating. SASRA charges a percentage of the deposit as a fee to carry out supervision. But where the problem has been this levy has been treated by Treasury as a tax. So it is collected by SASRA, taken to Treasury, and then Treasury has to return it to SASRA. That process takes time. And as you know, any levy in this country is not a tax. It's retained, even the fuel levy is retained to carry out what it's supposed to do with the relevant authority. So that's why we are saying that this levy, because we have been collecting, SASRA has been collecting around 800 million Kenya shillings to carry out its supervisory work. But the money that it gets back from the Treasury after collecting 800 has never exceeded 500 million Kenya shillings. So they have a gap, entire gap of 300 million that the money it has collected, but it has not been remitted there. That is the administrative bottleneck that has been there, which we have now discussed with Treasury, that this money, once collected, must be retained by SASRA and be used for the intended purposes. I'm hopeful that this year that will be implemented, and that will be one way of making SASRA financially strong to carry out its responsibility. Thank you.
That's a good response. Honorable Senators, that's the end of the questions from the honorable members. So, Honorable CS, I want to thank you for appearing before the Senate this morning. You have satisfactorily